Alright, welcome back, and it's good to see you again. It's fantastic and it's wonderful. Now listen, I figured out what I was messing up, and it was, of course, quite a simple little thing. And that was, instead of column size, which is what I should be using the modulo operator by, I was doing num frames. And of course, that's a dumb mistake. That's why that stuff didn't work. So when you do column size, when you modulo the frame, the current frame -1, modulo the column size, you get exactly what you want, and you get the frames correctly offsetting, the x offset resetting every time the column size comes around. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, forgive me, of those of you who yelled at me from the last episode in the comments and whatnot. Forgive me, but anyway, that was the deal. So we have things going correctly as far as the x and y offsets changing depending on where you are in a sprite sheet. Now, at least this is how we are going to make it work for now. And something else I did is I said, hey, if the number of frames is less than or equal to 1, we don't even need to bother with any of this stuff. Just return. And with that, I made another function and I called it set, and you pass it a quad, and then it sets the viewport to the offset x and y. Just the plain old offset, so basically the first frame of the animation. And we'll use that in the sprite that the sprite class that we're going to create. So let's take a look at the sprite class. What do we need as far as the sprite class is concerned? Well, I think we need to give it the atlas, the sprite atlas that we're going to be pulling from. Let's do that. We need to give it the size of the sprite, a lot like the width and height. So we need a width and a height of this thing. So we can go ahead and set self.w equals w, and self.height equals h, and self.atlas equals atlas. Now, we'll add animations here in a moment. And we might as well, we're going to need it here too. So we'll need to require this here in Sprite as well, because we'll need to be using it. Let's should we do a current animation? Yeah. Let's just do self dot Let's let that just be an index into the table. Yeah. Or do we want to do that? No, let's not. Let's let that actually be the actual animation. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do that? I'm going back and forth on it. Can you tell? Let's say if self dot animations of anim name not equal to this is Lua not equal to nil, then and we also we're also going to need a quad here when we create our stuff, because our sprite's going to need a quad. And here we're just going to call it quad love.graphics.newquad, and this is going to be, well, let's just, we don't care about this right now because we're going to set it later, and we can go ahead. We're actually, we'll set all this stuff later, really. So we really don't need to set this, but we can, actually we don't even need a self. Width and height, and we'll say atlas.getDimensions. There we are. We have our quad, and we'll have to call it self. What we want to put it in our table, so self.quad. And if self.animations is not equal to nil, then we will say self.animation name first of all. We really want to say, we want to reset this. Going back into C mode there, C++, C sharp. Sorry. So we want to reset our timer and our frames per second because those are going to be, we need to reset those things when we do a set. But we don't want to do that if if we are, here's what we do. Current animation equals animation name. So we want to keep track of that, because if self.currentAnimation is not equal to animation name and, right? So we only want to do this this particular thing that we're fixing to do, which is set self.quad. So we only want to set the quad and reset the animation if the current animation name is not equal to the one that we're trying to go to. So that way we could just keep saying animate, animate, animate in an update function, and it's not going to screw things up for us, if that makes any sense at all. And it may not, and that's okay. So we'll also do this. We'll come over here under update and we'll say if, and we don't need those parentheses. So if we actually have an animation, we will say we want to update you. Update, and we'll have DT, and we'll have self.quad. Just like that. Yes, 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 yes. I believe that's what we want. I think. Yes. And when we want to draw it, drawer, you see, drawer, like a drawer, it goes in and out and put things in it. We want to draw it. We want this. And we're also going to need an XY position for our sprite, aren't we? So sprite, new atlas, width, height, X, Y. So let's just take these, clone them, and make this X and Y. So that we'll have somewhere to put the sprite. So X and self.Y. And we'll go with angle later. We'll add some rotational stuff later. And we'll add scaling later too. Now, that was, yes, that was the center point. For now, let's have the sprite be centered. We can change this later. Self.height divided by 2. Scale of 1, we'll add scaling, and we'll add rotation, and we may add the origin, sprite origin later as well. For now, and we need to draw, say, self.atlas and self.quad. Let's begin to form this in local Sprite equals require Sprite, not Sprite, Sprite, like that. And we'll keep this here for reference for now. Local Sprite equals Sprite. What do we need here? An atlas, which is, let's just do this, local Sprite. And then we'll say Sprite equals Sprite. The atlas, so that's hero atlas. Width 16 by 16. X, let's just put the center of this thing 100. 100, 100. So I don't think we need hero sprite anymore. That's the goal, is to get rid of it. Instead of this, we want sprite.draw. And instead of this, we want sprite update, like that. I'll remove that. And I know this isn't going to work yet because we don't have any animations. So let's say function sprite made a way to add animation, and we'll say animation. And we don't have a parameter for name here, so we're gonna need to name and the animation. We'll do it like that. For now, we're not going to check. We're just going to add it to our table, which is self.animations of name equals anim. Okay, I think. So we'll say sprite.add animation, and we will add this animation, and we'll call it walk. Not control A, just plain old A. So, and we will then say sprite.animate walk. Cross your fingers, there's going to be errors. Pow. Of course, graphics. We're not talking about graphics. Where is this? In 22 graphics. How did that get chopped out? Next, attempt to index local atlas. Of course, because I didn't. Where was it? 13. Ah, yes. Self. What? Oh, yes. No, we can do that. We just messed this up. And we don't need this. Okay. Well, that's something, isn't it? Let's see what we can make happen. Oh, sorry. Let's see what we can make happen here. Yes. Okay. Oh, of course. We want this. We don't want animation name. Buggers. There he is. He's not moving. And he's smaller, but we expected him to be smaller because our scale is now small. Why isn't he moving, though? We've got sprite update. I'm afraid I'm going to need to go back, check a few things. Settings. We'll turn debug on. And where are we? Sprite. Print. Let's just see if we're getting in this little loop here. Oh yeah. We're getting in there. Okay. And is he starting on the correct frame? No. Not really. Okay. Okay. So where are we going wrong then? What have I done? Here? What was that what were those parameters? New quad. Let's check that and see. Quad. Let's go back to graphics and we'll check it out. Love.graphics. And we'll go look at the quad and new quad, yes. So we want X, a Y, and a width, and a height. Sure. The reference width and the reference. So we've got all that. Right? Width, height, 0, 0, width, height. Yeah, that's all good. What we need to do then is let's go in here and let's say, let's uncomment this and see if we're actually moving frames. Oh, hold on. Let me take out this high. Hello! And we'll go. And you can see it's not moving at all. Why is that? There's your DT. Let's check the animation. Wait a minute. Of course, we're using... we're resetting it every single time. This will work. So we don't reset it every time. So now, yes. Yes, indeed. Da-da-da. But one thing we must do here is instead of, we'll do this, but we'll also must say reset. So we reset that animation. And then we go with it. One thing, though, that I was noticing was we should start on 1, but it looks like we're starting on... No, we're good. We're good. I was just looking at the debug window here, and when I pull it up, when initially it starts, when it starts printing, it prints from 2. But of course, that will print from 2 because it doesn't get in here until that first frame is gone by. So that looks like we want it to. Now we can also say let's put a scale X and a scale Y in here. So let's say self.scale equals vector 2 scale X or 1, scale Y or 1. How about that? And then we'll come down here and we'll say, oh, that's the wrong class. Sorry. We don't want it in here. We want it in the sprite. We want scale X, scale Y. We want to be able to set those. And there we are. Yes. And that's going to be here. Self.scaleX. No, scale. We want scale. Self.scale.y. Okay, so that's going to let us be able to scale it. And let's change this. Should we? Yes. Let's change that to a vector also. self dot, let's call it position, equals vector2 x or 0, y or 0. Okay. So we'll say dot position dot y dot position dot x, and so when we rerun it, everything should be the same except for the fact that I need to add a requirement for vector2 here, and there he is. So now what we should be able to do is we should be able to say our sprite, we want to scale him 10 in the x and 10 in the y. Boom! And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful! Well, we've done some good work here today. The next thing I guess we could do would be angle. And we could do self.angle here. So we could say self.angle equals our input angle, or 0. Yeah. And I believe, isn't the angle, I think it's in radians, isn't it? No, it's in degrees. Beautiful. That's some good stuff. Well done, well done. So now we have a sort of a simple little sprite class that can take animations that we can use these animations. We can make any kind of animations that we want, such as this. Let's see. Let's try another animation real quick. It shouldn't be difficult to make this swim animation. Let's copy this and let's call it swim. And this let's call walk. W-A-L-K. Walk. And let's add another animation. Let's call it swim. And the starting position will be the same here. Instead of 32, it'll be 48, 64, 80. So 80. And yeah, 80. And let's, instead of animating walk, let's animate the swim. And let's see what we get. Oh, that's the punch. Oh my. Oh my. That's not right. That's totally wrong. Let's see what we're doing wrong here. Oh, look. That's all the way down here. I went down too far, apparently. So let's go to 64. And then we should have it. Boom. Swimming. Swimmingly wonderful. So now we have a nice little class that we can kind of use to encapsulate a lot of this stuff. We can add animations this way. Yeah, man, this is cool. So we could make him swim, oh, I don't know. We could make him swim up. We could make him swim down. Huh. That's cool, man. We may add some additional functionality to this class, this little sprite class, but I think for now that's pretty cool. We got some good stuff done. And we got the we got the sprite class done, we got a vector class, and we got just the basic methodology of classes in general done. And until next time, guys, see ya.